Hello, Junior English. Hope you all are doing well on this beautiful Friday. And as the title image says, may today be the Fridayest Friday that ever Fridayed. Because we need a good Friday, right? Okay, so for today, I am just going to go over so far the results for why you all think books are made into movies. We're also going to look at your responses to the lottery. I really want to look at that third question with you, all of your opinions about if you think the lottery is fair, and also look into some themes within the short story and a little bit just about the lottery in general. And then I will go over your assignment for today. So first things first. The primary results from why are books made into movies? So basically all of you guys were saying it is a great way to provide a visual to a book that, you know, it may be hard for you to envision, or even, you know, this could be a representation of what the author of the story was trying to convey to the audience. And it literally makes a book come to life. I can't remember who said that, but whoever said that, like, that was, I loved that quote. But yeah, movies make a book come to life, because when you read a book, I mean, everyone has their own interpretation of what that book looks like, what that book is saying. But then when you see a movie, like, it either provides that new perspective or it literally brings that book to life from your mind. So that's really cool. Also, I like that someone else brought up was books and movies can serve as a comparison to one another. So how, like, the movie compares to the book and what they change and what they keep the same. So it's a good way to compare to each of those versions, and how maybe even someone like takes a text, like with their say if you're on that movie crew that is deciding what they want to do with a movie, it's interesting to see their interpretation of how something is, and like the little design details, and even like the casting of characters is very interesting. And then also something else that I like that you guys mentioned is sometimes creating a book into a movie makes people want to read the book, which I completely agree with. Most of the time I'm a book person, but I will admit with some books, after watching the movie, I'm like, okay, I want to read the book. Like The Fault in Our Stars, after seeing that movie, really motivated me to wanting to continue reading that. But I so far I liked all of your guys' comments, so good job there. Okay, actually, let's flip over to that. Okay, so this is the Google form where some of you have answered already about questions about the lottery. So most of you guys are saying that it is a tradition. I mean, it obviously states it in the short story, that especially with Old Man Warner, because he mentions how the lottery has been throughout time. It's been through generations, and everyone before it, people in the community have done it, but they never really recorded why. So all of you guys here did great. But yeah, I don't think I want to add anything there, because everything looks good. It happens once a year. But I really liked your guys' answers here, because there was a mixed bag. And so that's always fun. But a lot of you are saying no, the lottery is not fair, because it's a game of chance. So I mean, that's a double-edged sword, right? Because I mean, it does have, being a game of chance does make it fair, because everyone has that same chance. Like, it's something that isn't singling out a person and saying, oh, like, today's your lucky day, you're gonna get stoned. Like, no, they have to pick from that box, and whoever gets the black dot Kiss a black dot. Like, it is what it is. But that can also be a bad thing too, because for you guys saying no, I mean, I really like this answer. Why would anyone want to be stoned to death? I feel like that's probably one of the worst deaths you could ever encounter, if we're being honest. It is murder in a way, if you think about it. Definitely, that's a good perspective. But I think this answer is a good middle ground. While it is cruel, yes, it is fair, because they are picked out of a box at random. But back to my no people. Thinking about this answer, when thinking about like the crimes of people and like what people have done, like, I mean, wouldn't you, I guess, with this, maybe look at the deeds of people, and if they have done bad things, like, them be put up to be stoned? Maybe. Because I mean, that is a sad thing though, because anyone has that opportunity. And I mean, even if they literally could be the best person in that community and still they just had bad luck that day. I honestly thought of that too, with this answer, like with the young children, because I mean, once that family pulls the black dot from the box, every member in that family is up for a draw. So there could be the opportunity that a child could be stoned to death. And also, I mean, even like during, like when they are throwing stones at the person who is picked, anyone could get hit at that point, which is kind of scary. But yeah, I really liked your guys' answers there. So let me go back here to this presentation. So some things that you guys pointed out in your question. So there is this whole idea of tradition in the lottery. So it's something that a common saying just in life in general is you don't stray from tradition. And Old Man Warner throughout this story is like, oh, these young people want to change everything. And that is something, probably an idea of why they don't change it, because it's happened for so many years. It's happened for generations. And something that I feel like should be questioned with this is, okay, yes, it's happened for many years, but there's no documentation of why. And, like maybe just questioning the morals with this whole thing. But yeah. Anyways, with that, and then there's the theme of equality. So you guys mentioned the whole idea of chance. So everyone is essentially equal in the lottery, just because everyone has the same chance of being picked. But like you guys are saying, it's that whole question of, is this equal? I mean, when Tessie is shouting at the end, that isn't fair. You rushed him to to pick his piece of paper. I mean, all are those chances equally? There's that question too, especially, and I will explain this with that very last bullet point of idea of social classes. And there's also the whole idea of women within this specific society in the lottery. They are definitely below men. You see this with, I can't remember her name right now, but the older woman who is supposed to pick for her family. They ask her, do you have a son in your family that can pick for you? And she says no, because she does have a son, but he's not 16 yet. And so they're kind of hesitant at first to let her pick. But after she gives all of that reasoning, like, she has to do it. And so there's this whole idea of women being below men and this unequal equality between genders in this story. So that is something just to think about as you like continue to, I guess, read short stories, and even any story in general, just looking for certain themes of how maybe characters are not equal. And then there's also this idea of social classes. So Mr. Summers, who is the head of this whole lottery, he owns a coal business. And the other man who helps him as well with being near the black box, he is the postmaster. So these two people in their own society are the highest members because they own big businesses. And so when you think about it, could the lottery maybe be swayed that these two people will never get picked? Because I mean, they are the highest members of society. And because I mean, you have Mr. Summers and then you have the postmaster, and they are the only ones like to be around that box. And then everyone else is basically on the same level. They're all workers, and they are all like very family oriented. But when you think about it, like especially with the detail of Mr. Summers, he is the one who draws the dot on the paper. Could he rig it? Who knows? And he also even mentions after Tessie says, this isn't fair, he's like, okay, let's get this moving along. And I get to the point that, you know, this isn't an enjoyable process because they're literally stoning someone to death. But I mean, it also makes you think about Tessie's idea of how she mentions that this was all rushed and that her husband did not get the opportunity to just pick his number. So, I mean, there is that whole idea to just think about, as well as even Tessie being picked because she was late to the lottery, first of all. And the irony of her getting picked, kind of fishy. But like I was saying, there's this mimic of modern society. So this whole idea of social classes and having like a middle class and an upper class. Honestly, I wouldn't really say there's any lower classes within this specific society in the lottery. But another thing to think about too is maybe the lottery as a form of population control. Just because they only have 300 people within their society. So maybe that's a number that they need to keep it at. Who knows? We do not find that out, unfortunately. What do I have next? Okay, so the last thing before I get off here, your assignment for today, you are going to only choose to complete one of the following. So you can either do option 1 or you can do option 2, whatever you want to do. So there is a short film of the lottery. So if you would like to do option 1, you're going to watch this short film and you're going to answer the following question. Do you prefer the short film or the short story of the lottery, and why? Or you are going to complete option number 2, which is you're going to watch a clip from the Hunger Games. And the question that you're going to answer is, do you think the Hunger Games is similar to the lottery? If so, how are the Hunger Games and the lottery similar? If not, how are they different from each other? But other than that, I will post your assignment to Classroom, and I will also post this presentation for you as well as the Google Slides presentation too. But let me stop the share here. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will not keep you any longer.